What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mind, episode 3. I'm your host, hxlloghxst. Today we got a familiar face. You may know him as Beacon Films if you've seen some of his films, such as Fuck Shoes or Fuck Laces, I'm sorry. Today, he's not coming to us as Beacon Films. Today I'm interviewing musical phenomenon, underground independent artist, Sundream. We're going to be talking a little bit about his music, a little bit about his life, why he makes music, and we're going to be talking about his upcoming album. That's on today's episode. I hope you enjoy. Oh yeah,
thank you for the intro, dude.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on to do another interview. I appreciate it. Man.
Yeah, the first recurring guest.
You are the first, the first recurring guest.
Well, maybe it's not fair though. I've got a little insider knowledge, but no, dude, it's I'm excited to not only like talk about the album, but talk music in general.
Yes, this is to the viewers at home. This is going to be more of a free-form interview. We're just going to kind of talk, so enjoy. I hope you like it. But yeah, to like first get in, because a lot of these people don't know who Sundream is. Let's get into a little bit of history about Sundream. How long have you been going under the name Sundream? Was this like even before you started making music?
No, Sundream came around when I officially started like uploading music, and I started making music and uploading it pretty much at the same time. So this would have been about 2013. Probably like I was really big into like the growlers at the time. I was very much into like sort of like garage, psych, sort of DIY sound and feel, and
cool. Yeah.
Like one of the major milestones of my career, or like the tipping point, that the thing that made it happen, was my neighbor in the neighborhood that I lived in with my mom. He threw away an organ, and it was like one of those like Hammond style organs. And I mean, you could go on Craigslist right now and probably find something similar for free, because they're so big and heavy and kind of outdated and
people
broken.
Are trying to get rid of them.
They're probably worth something to like collectors, but
yeah,
they're usually not in good condition, so they're free. And so he threw it away, and I was and still am a big fan of like digging through the trash. So I got a dolly and I wheeled it home. I rolled it down the street and into the garage, and it worked. It worked perfectly. There was nothing wrong with it. It had like foot pedals and 2 layers of keyboards and a bunch of instruments and a drum machine. It was sick.
That's cool.
And that began the genesis of like, I really want to make like this sort of DIY sound music. I remember thinking that like I want to make music like the Growlers, and I never really got close. And I just, despite never being able to do the thing that I wanted to, I still had a lot of fun playing the keyboard. My main instrument at the time was a guitar, and through this keyboard, through all the sounds and stuff, I could play, and that was the most important thing to me, playing and like having fun. And that's where Skullman came out. My first like ever song, my first demo, whatever, was just a voice memo sitting on my organ, and you can tell that like the structure of it then versus the structure of it now is very similar, but more now it's more like cohesive, more like a song and less like a Carnival Funhouse.
Okay. Yeah.
And so Sundream came out because I was like, if I ever see myself being in a live performance band situation, I want a name. I took something that I took like a lyric from the Growlers, and I don't even know if that's the right lyric, but it just stuck.
Stuck to you. So Sundream, the name came from a lyric, potentially a misheard lyric from the Growlers, and before that, you hadn't gone under any name, and thanks to a neighbor giving you this organ, kind of sparked your quest to want to learn how to play music. Because you mentioned that you were really focused on like actually just like that DIY, just wanting to play and have an actual sound. Quick question on that story. So, did you, before you were even given this organ, was there ever any any part of you that was like, man, I kind of want to start making music, but I just don't have an instrument or know how? Or was it like you got the organ and you're like, fuck it, maybe I can start making music too?
So, it's kind of both. The I feel like the organ was a major point that got me over the finish line. Like, I can start making music now. Because I had instruments. I had a classical guitar and I had an electric guitar, neither of which were all that great. But they were interesting. And it was just sort of like, I wanted to do something new. I wanted to like make sounds besides a guitar. And that helped it helped the vision of a song expand, and I could actually start like kind of writing. I could kind of start playing. Because like, again, the organ had like a backing track that I could, it was automatic drum machine.
Kind of allowed you to like play with other people without actually playing with other people.
Exactly. I could make a band without having to rely on anyone.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, so was guitar the first instrument you like started learning how to play as a kid, or?
Yeah, my dad is like semi-famous in his scene. So he toured with a lot of bands. They have made quite a few records, and he made a decent amount of money on it. Nice. And he's always had like a passion for music, and so him playing like lead guitar, he taught me how to play guitar. And one of the things that I love about it is that like he taught me like very basic fundamentals, like here are chords, here are the strings, no theory.
No music
just
theory.
Play. Yeah. Just like learn how to play.
Here are notes. Play these notes. Do what you want.
Yeah, and like that allowed me to like the phrase I fear not the man who practices 10,000 kicks, but the man who practices one kick 10,000 times.
Great.
I just know a few things, but I play those few things in all sorts of different ways because I know how to like play within those confines. So guitar was the first thing I learned. Okay. And I remember like staying at my dad's apartment, and I would like have my phone, and I would just sort of like record myself playing. Almost like jams. I would like most voice memos, even to this day, are like just purely jams. They're not so rehearsed and structured. It's like, this is a sound that sounds cool. I wouldn't want to listen to this later, but right now I'm just playing, so who knows what's going to happen next.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's a lot of how my songwriting went. And, I had a couple little things, but nothing that I truly went back to listen to until the organ came around.
Nice, okay. That's really interesting. So organ comes around, you think, it's kind of cool. I kind of want to explore that more. Touching on the something that you've mentioned a few times is like that kind of hands-on, just play, DIY, no music theory sound. From my perspective, I can definitely hear that come out in the music that you make. Like sonically, your sound is very much in that raw, kind of real Orolithic feel, which is what I love about it. What would, if you were to classify your music, like what you make currently, what do you think you would classify that as?
It feels very performative. Like, I'm more interested in the performance than the recording. Which
like
is
performing the material?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, that doesn't necessarily answer your question, but it gets us there. Because it's a hard question to answer. I'm not... You're
not one genre, so to
say. I agree. I try not to stick to it, because it's like... Or I guess the real thing is, it's not that I'm trying not to make one genre, it's that I tend not to. I'm interested in a lot of things, and I'm interested in again, playing. So like you could listen to a couple of my songs on Bandcamp where it's just me singing with an acoustic guitar, versus some are purely like these sort of chaotic keyboard instrumentals. Right. That have like these really interesting textures. So okay. I always sort of stick to like there's a punk rock flavor in there. There's Definitely. Like an experimental ambient, dark ambient flavor in there.
Yeah.
But
very much so.
I guess like experimental rock is if I had to put
Dude,
something. Experimental rock.
Experimental punk was what I was going to say I classified as. It's like right in there with exactly. So cool. That I think I absolutely agree. For those watching at home, if you don't know Sundream, go listen to some of his discography. There's a couple albums on Spotify, but you can find all of his music that he's released so far this day on his Bandcamp. It's going to be linked down in the description. Make sure you check that out. So talking more on projects, things that you're working on, I want to talk about like, you said for the most part, you like to play a lot, right? So what gave you the idea to like start recording this stuff and wanting to like put it out on the internet?
Absolutely none of it has to do with like being recognized. I want to listen to my music. I like listening to my music.
Yeah, as you should.
And so, like I said, my recordings came from being on my phone, a voice memo. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this is the case anymore, but back in the day, on like an iPhone 4, you could record a voice memo and then play it, but it had to be open. And sometimes I like listening to music in the car. And so it's kind of dangerous to be fiddling with the phone while you're driving and just to listen to my own stuff. And so, or like maybe I want to listen to one song and then another song afterwards, and I have to go and find it, and it's annoying. So I just uploaded it to Bandcamp because it was free, and it's a nice way to like sort of collect it in an album format that allows me to, from any phone, any computer, I can access it
and listen to it
and just play it.
Yeah.
And so
it wasn't about I want to put my music out there for people to enjoy. It was like I want to put my music out there so I can listen to it more easily.
So I can enjoy, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so because my point was like, I like listening to this. I like listening to my own things. I played a couple shows by showing my Bandcamp to my friends at the time, but like it was mostly to have like that's the way I analyze my stuff, is I also listen to it back, and like as a not just as an artist playing the song, but that audience member appreciating the song, like what does it need here? Why is it repetitive?
Critiquing
why do I
yourself.
not like it? Exactly.
Yeah. That's smart. Okay, so to talk on that, there's got to be like surely there's like a small part of you that is like wants people to like hear the hard work you put into something, right? Like there's got to be a little bit. It's like, sure you're doing it for yourself, but it's cool if someone hears it too along the way.
Well, sure, yeah, sure. And like some crazy universe where like I had a band to like rehearse and play my songs, we would absolutely be trying to play like live shows. Mm-hmm. Somehow, if there was like a Twilight Zone era where like I was asked to play South by Southwest, I would do it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just sort of being realistic with myself, and like I don't have the manpower to play some of my songs. I think it's like it's difficult to do that, which is why I've sort of like shut off the idea of playing live, which kind of comes into like I don't necessarily care if anybody listens. It's almost like I feel like I'm almost like an apprentice to myself. Is that once I prove that I can do all these things on my own, then I can start introducing people into the mix. Or okay. Like, yeah. I also don't charge anything for any of my albums because, not because I don't think they're worth it. It's more that like, it's only for fun. Yeah. It's not for notoriety or to make money. And a big reason why I like, in my day job, I don't pursue creative efforts. I don't pursue creative efforts as a job because the fun of creativity is more important than the success of it. Because it's so like fickle. Yeah. It could go well or it couldn't.
There's something I want to note that I picked up on as you were talking. So when you were speaking, when you were answering my question, one thing that you said a lot is like playing in front of people, and you're like since you write, produce and record everything just yourself. You're a one-man band. Yeah. So it makes sense that a lot of these songs you can't really perform live unless you like start with like setting up the drum machine, letting that loop, and then playing with the loop, which some people do, right? But like for the style that you want to play. Anyways, the point I was getting at is for you, you get a lot of your value, even in what you're talking about before, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I'm saying is you get a lot of your value in, like you were saying, the playing. You don't like the recording part. You like just playing music, which makes sense into, for my question of like, well, surely there's a part of you that wants people to hear it. Your mind goes into, well, yeah, I want people to hear it, but if I want people to hear it and I'm going to be focused on that, it's going to be playing live, not, getting streams on Spotify. To you, you're like, who cares if someone hears my song on Spotify? I want to play my song in front of people. That's where you get value of people hearing your music.
Yeah, I would probably mostly agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a very good observation. I think that like it would be very cool to play these songs live. I feel like I don't have,
because you're like a showman at the end of the day. You're very much like, you like to put on a show and entertain people, right? Like I see that even just like as your best friend, I see that from you. You're an entertainer.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I like getting a reaction out of people.
Yeah.
And
so like you don't care like what a digit on a screen says. That holds no value to you. It's someone like seeing you like play it live is like, wow.
Which is also like almost contradictory because I don't play anything live. I do these fake sort of live shows like
which those are cool because those are still performative.
Yeah, they are. They are recordings. Like this is a performance.
Yeah.
But like I would love to play more shows, but it's just like almost, I don't want to say impossible, but very difficult or very time intensive, and I just don't have either of those.
Yeah, I see. You don't see the value in it
right now.
Yeah.
This is something I could say that like you asked what the future of Beacon Films is like. I'm like, I don't know. I don't care.
I don't care for one.
But this is like I could see something like I could gather a band together, and
there's more value in wanting to play music than make films.
Because like even when I did play shows, my band was me and a drummer. Not even like the same drummer every time. It was just
different drummer. Yeah.
I need a drummer, and so we would practice. I'd be like, okay, so here's where the beat will change. Here's what I want you to do at this point to transition us to the next part of the song. The specific beat, not so important. Or like however style you want to do it, I want you to be yourself and like just sort of support me. And
just keep the groove.
Just keep it going. Yeah. And so that's why I don't really like... I like playing with the band. I just don't see myself like doing that often because that's not the way I like write either.
Yeah.
It's very much a personal project.
For sure.
I almost even wonder if I were to play with like a specific band, if we would even be Sundream. It might just be me.
Yeah.
Or like I might be Sundream. Us would be something else.
It'd be something kind of like, with Tame Impala, you hire people to play when you do live shows.
Sure.
You'd like they're your band, but you basically recording everything yourself.
Correct, yeah. You and I have worked together
a couple times.
We've played, we've even like, you've helped me write some songs, which is really awesome. It's got me like...
We used to jam a lot back
then. And I don't know like how familiar you are with like my catalog. Like, can I ask you like what are some of your favorites?
Sure. Yeah, like Sundream favorites. So I really like I don't know all the songs on it, but the first song specifically of Empty Phones on your Bandcamp, which I think was probably you just like emptying your phone. I assume.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know, it sounds really cool. It sounds like someone recorded it with their iPhone set up on a shelf or something, and there's something neat about that like home recording feel, and also just like for me, like it feels like emotional, and that's something I've talked about is like I like to find like an emotional connection music, whatever the emotion be, and like this one it's like I can feel it like right here in my body, and I'm like, this is cool. Like just the way the guitar is played, specifically.
Oh, that's Avalanches.
Avalanches.
Yeah,
okay.
you talked about how you like that one.
Yes. Sounds sick as fuck. I've actually been wanting to remix it, but I've just been so busy with other projects. I don't know. I really like that one. I also really enjoy Shooting Star. I think Shooting Star is really good. You got some bangers on there. Wasting Time, really great song. Finn's Theme, I just love the name of that. I love the way it sounds. It's fun. It's bubbly. Let's see. There's another one. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember what the picture looks like on your Bandcamp. It's an older one, and I think it's you playing an acoustic guitar and singing. I can't remember what it's called, but I like that one a lot.
I think I know the one.
If I saw it, I would be like, yeah, it's that. But yeah, so that's like what I listen to. And again, like going into this new album, which I'm extremely excited for, Destinal Qyourm, October 31st. It's something that I wanted out of your music was to hear it better.
Yeah.
Was like, sure, I like how it sounds like it's recorded on phone, but
totally.
I don't want all of it to sound that way. I want it to still have that punk, not even punk, just that DIY homemade feeling, but it be a little more clear, and it just plays like more like where I can hear every detail a little bit better.
Yeah, and I agree. The voice memo thing was like an accessibility thing. It was like,
yeah, I mean, you weren't worried about recording then. You were like,
yeah,
let me listen to my jams.
even so, I like working physically, and so like a lot of my recordings are as digital as just pushing record on my phone and recording it there.
Yeah.
The most in depth I ever went was I had a looper pedal that I would use it like a DI box. Everything would get recorded into there, but that meant I have to wanted to play a song, I have to play the entire drum part blind, the entire guitar part blind, stacked on top of each other, and then do vocals over. And then once that's all done, export it from the thing, from the pedal, and at the end it just sounded like tinny, but also chaotic and not great. And so like, I don't know. I still wanted to like play in real time. We tried a whole thing where like we had that Focusrite.
I remember that. Yeah.
We tried that, and it was just like really difficult to set up, and like it was
Things
maybe
were off synced a little bit.
It was off sync, and like for me, a performance is more important than the recording. So like I'm getting a clean performance, but I'm off. It really turned me off, but one of the things that you were able to help me out with that in that regard was you got me a Tascam. The Tascam 6-track. And I used to have one that broke and I couldn't do as much with it. But I remember I loved it. And so I think there's like one song in my past that is recorded fully on there, and it's like it's got the capabilities of being able to listen to a specific part, change this other part to fit it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that made a huge difference in my recording style, but also my playing. I could listen to a song with a drum, a bass, a vocal, listen to each part, and if I decide the first thing that I did was bad, I could redo it. And it made a huge difference. I think like these are some of my best recordings.
This is a perfect segue. I wanted to talk about for this upcoming album, something you've told me privately is like, you feel like this might be something like your best recorded work that you've like produced so far. So I want to talk about. I'm curious as to like what is your. I saw a little bit of it. There's a video on your YouTube channel where you kind of like it's a preview of like kind of like the making of Destinal Qyourm. But I'm curious in the audience at home, kind of talk a little bit about your recording process. What does that look like for you? A couple things I want to know. Do you go in with a preset idea, or do you just go in kind of off the spot? Number two, do you sit down and say, okay, I'm going to record today, and it's going to be my focus. I'm going to get something done today, or do you just record when you have kind of spark of the moment? Those are the first two. Okay,
I'll try to remember those two. Actually, I'll start with them. Do I go in with an idea? No, that's what voice memos are for. I'm playing for fun with nobody listening. I land on something that's kind of interesting. That's when I bring the phone out and I say, all right, maybe we touch on this later. Play. If there's like a riff that I really enjoy playing, but I haven't nailed what that will turn into, it honestly still doesn't go into the phone. So it has to like be fun to play and nice to listen to and like sort of be worth revisiting to be recorded.
Okay.
But to be like now sort of officially recorded, be on the Tascam, put like a microphone to the amp. That has to be more structured. I have to have more of an idea. I'll usually have like a working title. And then I'll think like, okay, let's see what I can do with this song idea, this skeleton song. And if I am recording it, I'm seeing that like this riff can go into another riff. I can see like what the drum might look like, or like what the theme and feeling of the song is. That's when I start. Lately, I have been starting to like actually write songs. You could go back on my Bandcamp and see the songs and like see that I'm like playing to like a structure and there's some sort of song there, but like even I think the song you're talking about that you're like where it's just you with a guitar, those words I was making up in the moment as they came.
Just
same with the
freestyle.
chords.
Yeah.
100%. And it's because that was the first iteration of the idea. It's like, oh, okay, I could see how a song like this could come out. I'm a big fan of like doing a rough draft badly, just so that could be the idea. You illustrate the idea, kind of like how you were talking about like, well, I won't spoil it, but like you let's say you want a tattoo of something really like hyper detailed. Right. You go to your artist and like, okay, I want these things. I want a post-it note like this, but like obviously make it good, and they would do that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was sort of doing. And the iPhone microphones are surprisingly really good. It's very nice. But for more clarity, you got to separate each of the parts and like pan them and do whatever.
Mix it. Yeah, for sure.
So for this record, I'm a big fan of like the techniques I've learned from Glenn Fricker at Spectra Sound Studios. He's done a lot of stuff about like how to not totally suck with recording at home, or like how to record an amp at home. And these kinds of things inspire me to do like a good performance, but as well as a good sounding performance. So like my mic is right up to the amp, and it's a loud amp, so that you can hear the whole like range of the frequency that's coming out, the actual sound waves. I basically record everything with the Tascam with an external mic, and then I'm listening, I'm monitoring with the headphones on top, so that I can see like how does it sound here with just by itself, so that I can also imagine adding more things on top.
And when you say like recording through the amp, are you recording like everything through the amp, the piano, the guitar, the drums?
It depends. So the guitar, yes, every single time. Drums, probably. Because I don't have a kit. I don't even have an electric kit. I technically have just a keyboard with a drum preset.
Right.
And so I'll either throw on
program your own drums using that.
Do one of the rhythms, or I'll do like I will add fills, but like something with the actual signal itself doesn't match a guitar's signal, so it fucks with like the actual level and quality of the sound. So sometimes I do have to go to the amp.
Otherwise, you're just like directing to the Tascam, or
yeah. And then with vocals, it really totally depends on like the mood. Like at first, Malicious Groove was like something that I did with like I had some cool distortion on my vocals, and it was coming through the amp.
I love Malicious Groove,
but it was peaking too hard, too much, too often, and personally, something I haven't touched on yet is that like I'm a big fan of like mistakes. I'm a big fan of like leaving imperfections in the work to show that like not only like am I a human being, I didn't quantize any of this, I didn't like pitch correct anything or like remove my mistakes. It's human work, but also like I think it sort of adds a flavor to it that makes it like almost more unpredictable.
Yeah. Okay.
While still leaving a foundation of like, here's what to expect, here's the chords, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So with that one, I ended up trashing the vocal take for Malicious Groove because I was doing it into the amp. Tried to record it, it was too hot. Tried to do it direct, was okay. Trashed it, and I just recorded it in GarageBand on top of it, like the final export.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. I'm really experimenting with my recording style right now.
Yeah, you're still trying to figure out what works best. Just kind of going at, which I think goes perfect into your DIY approach. Just like kind of going with the flow, seeing what works, reiterating process. All right. So just a little bit briefly touching on this one, this second question that was, do you set out like specific times when you're like, okay, I'm going to sit down and record, or do you just kind of do spur of the moment, like, oh, I feel like recording?
Spur of the moment are for jams that are going well. If I'm playing, I'm noticing I'm having a lot of fun recording or having a lot of fun playing a specific groove. That's when I bring the phone out and like record it. And that's when it stays in my list of jams on my phone. And if I notice myself coming back to it, I'm like, maybe that's a true song.
Yeah, that's a song, yeah.
So those are the days that I'm like, it's kind of hard to answer these questions because my recording style has changed since getting the Tascam. This is the first album recorded on a Tascam.
I'm specifically talking about just for Destinal Qyourm.
Okay, yeah. Style. Yeah, so for these, I had structured songs that I knew how to do, that it was like I clocked in to work. Like I have to record this because I wanted it done by a certain date. And I was like, okay, today we got to do the drums.
Just got to lock in and
got to do the drums, got to program them, got to master it in the thing. Like it's got to happen. We're going to do it today. Yeah. Ideally.
No,
excuse me.
I respect that. It's kind of a mix of both. The rough drafts just come from jams that you're like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then, all right.
Because like to expand on that is like the rough drafts are the fun part. Mm. The fun part of like the audience gets to listen to these. I wouldn't dare ask to pay for these demos, these barely demo things.
Yeah.
But like, if you're a big fan of me, then you can listen to the song ideas I was thinking of like before they ever come out to fruition. But when I'm like, okay, I'm slaving over Destinal Qyourm's drums in the garage for like 6 hours, well then like that's because I'm putting more energy towards like making them sound good. Yeah. Where the other ones were like, you get to listen to the idea, that's all that matters there. Here's the quality in these songs.
For sure. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I want to talk more leading into kind of a pivot discussion here. I really want to talk more about Destinal Qyourm. You were talking about Malicious Groove, which is track 4 on the EP, correct?
Yeah.
Track 1, SDBM, which is your black metal inspired song. Track 2 is Dog Rock, which is kind of like your, like how would you describe that?
That was a big I took a lot of inspiration from Molshat Doma.
Okay, yeah.
It's sort of like post-punk. Yeah, post-punk, there's a very tongue-in-cheekness to it.
It's good. It's really good.
I really do enjoy it. That's probably like one of my favorites. It's the unexpected favorite.
I was gonna ask you like, we'll ask that afterwards. Third track on the album.
This one I kind of want to keep as a surprise.
I was just going to say the name of it.
Of course.
Third track on the album, Ballad of the Bone King, co-produced by yours truly.
Yeah, like I love how it turned out. I think this is like...
You did great.
Again, this is like, I had the most fun with this record. I've put out stuff in the past that like, I've had fun with the individual tracks and like I upload them to compile them and it's easier to listen to again. But like as a unit, this record has been the most fun.
That's all. I think you can tell in the songs too because you feel that energy. So the album like sonically is kind of all over the place, but it all kind of also works so well together. Each song feels like it's part of an overall theme. You know,
Yeah.
was that something you were trying to intentionally do, or did it just happen that way?
My dad and I can attest to this. We kind of just land on our feet.
Yeah.
We just like things
You
just
fall
happen.
upwards, as they say.
Yeah, we just stuff happens accidentally, and it just works, and it pisses everybody off around us, and I don't blame them.
I respect that.
But like,
that.
the theme here was not so intentional. Maybe it's a subconscious thing because like during this writing period, I was going through a lot. I was not in a great headspace, and I was suffering a lot, and so I had this sort of like negative outlook for things, and that, if anything, I want to say that painted. Maybe that limited my perspective. It put blinders on me, not in terms of like what I was allowed to talk about, but like what I was thinking about.
For sure.
And so with those themes came certain ideas. I've sort of analyzed the themes. Like when I'm writing lyrics now, it's pure stream of consciousness. I'll try to throw some like hints at the idea of what I'm trying to talk about, but typically whenever, like I said, whenever I'm doing a voice memo, a rough draft, those are a stream of consciousness words that are coming out, and I typically don't change them very much. The lyrics that are on this record are 80% of the first thing that came out of my mouth when the idea came out.
I get what you're saying. It's hard to capture that magic of spur of the moment, like freestyle. It's like you get, okay, and then you just build off of that, because there's no way you can rewrite it and then you get the same energy trying to re-sing it.
Yeah. So analyzing the themes, it's like I'm Christian, am analyzing an artist, Sundream, and I'm like, oh, okay, so like this song is about like disintegration and feeling degraded and feeling like not worth very much, feeling unappreciated, feeling like shit.
Yeah.
Or like I'm just like aware of the I guess the theme, because it's not so overt in messaging all the time. But like, I don't know, a sixth grade English class could probably pick apart the lyrics pretty easily.
Okay.
But it's not meant to be so deep either. I just want to
have fun.
I just want to have fun. And like this album, this band is about me expressing myself, my thoughts, my feelings. So whatever I was feeling at the time, what I will be feeling during this album cycle is what will be on the record. You'll see it, hear it, feel it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. I'm curious. Let's talk about Destinal Qyourm. This is going to be your debut album release under Orolithic, correct?
That's correct.
So this is like the first studio album, one could say.
Yeah.
Studio release album. What do you think is going to be, like, what's the hit? What's the hit of the album?
Dog Rock's the hit.
Dog Rock's the hit?
Dog Rock's the hit.
I think I agree. What do you, okay, then, what do you think is the sleeper?
I'm tied between SDBM and Malicious Groove, because like maybe I don't want to say my opener is a sleeper, but at the same time, I think they both go in different ways that are maybe unexpected, and I could see both being underappreciated.
I think Malicious Groove is going to be the sleeper. I also agree Dog Rock. Let's talk about why you think Dog Rock is going to be the hit of the album.
Because it's funny. It's funny. I think it's fun, and it's just. I think it's just true. It's like, in this song, I'm talking. First off, I made up a phrase like dog rock.
Yeah.
Dog rock is like when a dog shits in the lawn and nobody picks it up, and the
just
sun
fucking
dries it
hardens.
out. It's a little rock.
Yeah. So good.
And so I myself am the dog. I'm the dog. I'm the dog shit. I'm all of it. And I feel like I talk about how nobody wants to hear dogs cry. And despite that, we do. And like it's just part of our nature to like say something about how we're feeling, and it doesn't really change anything. It's going to it feels like about disintegration, how like sometimes we're not doing well and we will continue to not do well. And yet I don't think that's a bad thing. Like
yeah.
It just feels real to me to be, and how I cope with that is with humor. Is like,
yeah,
dog rock is very funny.
Dude, it's such a great. I one time when I called into work, when I texted my manager, I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm feeling like dog rock, man. I can't come in." And I think he got it without even having to ask, because he was like, "Hey, no worries, man. Take the day."
Yeah, and like okay, like if you need if you're not getting the joke, but despite me explaining it, like imagine bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like dog shit, dude. I feel, yeah.
People say dog shit too. And so like dog rock was the next. It's like the PG version of dog shit. I feel like dog rock.
I love that. Dude, it's such a fun song. It's such a good one.
And then again, dog rock, it's a rock, post-punk song about dogs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's like it's very not just tongue in cheek, but like heavy-handed with the theme. And I think a lot of people are just going to get it.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick pause right there to hear a word from our sponsors. Thanks for coming back. All right. So, yeah, we're talking about Destinal Qyourm coming out on Halloween Day. Was there a particular reason you wanted to release it on Halloween?
It's sort of like a very internal homage to my roots. I feel like I've always had a sort of like Halloween-y
yeah,
vibe around my music making. Like Skullman being the first song, I wanted to make like a sort of cheesy Halloween theme song. Like I wanted sort of like a spooky sort of thing. And like, I guess the reason being is that there's like a sort of dark energy, sort of like a, it's almost like oppressive in the way that I think about negativity. It sort of takes over in that regard. And I don't know, Halloween's kind of evil in some regards.
Yeah.
So I like thinking about things in sort of that way. I think my music is not always scary and Halloween-y, but like it has those roots. I enjoy the aesthetics of Halloween. I enjoy things of the occult, like Synth Lord. That music video was very like Halloween-y.
It's a great video. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to sort of like make more of an aesthetic, I guess. I tried making an aesthetic at first and it just felt too disjointed, and now I feel like I'm sort of locking into a aesthetic, but it doesn't mean it's always going to look or feel the same every time. It's just going to have that sort of like through line that makes it feel like Sundream every time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. So, do you have any sort of like I guess what I'm trying to say is, for Destinal Qyourm, does it have any sort of personal meaning to you? Like, does it, or is it just like, because you haven't posted, or you haven't made an album since Noxtinius Remains. What made you decide you wanted to make something new?
What made me decide? I mean, like it's hard to say what makes me decide to make anything. It's just sort of like it's an idea that just sort of never goes away until I do it. Yeah. And so like the difference between this record and, well, I guess this record and the record that's coming out and like all the other things that are on my Bandcamp is that none of those I ever decided I'm working towards this. This will be like the product that I want to put out. Excuse me. Those are more like I'm fed up of trying to find my voice recordings. I'm just going to put them online and like in the moment make an album cover and title.
Right.
Where these are like with this one specifically, what made me decide I wanted to do it is maybe February. I was thinking like it would be really cool to have a black metal song. I've been listening to a lot of like depressive suicidal black metal that I loved. It was a new genre to me and I thought that was a cool thing. And like I just thought it would be fun to not limit not to overindulge myself. This is an EP because it's a lot easier to just knock it out. I can put 4 songs out and put the amount of effort required that they deserve. Where like if I was to try to put out like a fully constructed 9-song record, that'd be a lot more work. That would be over double the amount of work. Not to mention that it all should like fit together and or whatever. Like this is a lot easier. And so I'm also moving out of my current studio soon. I want to just like I don't think I'm going to be able to make records like this for a while. So I'm just like almost like there was almost a desperation to it. It's just like get it out, get it done, make sure that it sounds good, and then lay it to rest. Yeah, I can leave. I no longer have to worry about recording these songs anymore, which is always my goal.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like what would you then? The other half of that question, I kind of asked 2 in 1. Is what? So what does this project? What does Destinal Qyourm mean to you? Mean to Sundream? If it means anything.
Nothing ever really means anything to me. But like I think, like I said, there are themes here that like we're hinting at, and it's not hinting at because I want to keep it secret. It's like because I don't even know.
Right.
But I guess the things that it means to me is that like this record I made when I was in like a lot of inner turmoil. This was me like
as an outlet for you.
It was truly an outlet, and I'm like if I look back during my negative experience during this year, I know that I got something good out of it. And like I don't like sitting in turmoil or I don't like wallowing in my depression. Yeah, so absolutely. I'm like I like doing things. I like even when I feel like shit, I want to do something. So this EP has some of my best recordings. I think some of my most fun ideas. And it like even some of the song themes hint at that, like suffering don't break me. That's one of the things that SDBM stands for. But like I won't be beaten by my own negativity. Mm-hmm. Whatever I'm going through, I will prevail. I talk about like tightening the noose is nothing new. It's like, yeah, I've been here before. Like like that scene in for sure. Buster Scruggs. Yeah. Like first time? Yeah. Like no, not for me. And it's just, it's like I have this sort of like I know my greatest strengths is like I have this perseverance. I will persevere. No, I don't think I have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I respect that. So then it sounds like, You said it doesn't really mean anything, but it sounds like there's a lot of meaning behind it. You just described a lot of meaning behind this album, whether you intended for it to have that meaning or not.
Right, and like that's what my takeaway is, that like I didn't go into the album to write that meaning.
Right, yeah. It became that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoyed the performance aspect of it a lot, because like these song ideas weren't meant to, well, I should write a song that has to do with perseverance. It's like they just came out. It's just subconscious.
I like that a lot. We're getting close to wrapping up here, so I just want to ask like a few closing questions. First, I want to say Destinal Qyourm coming out October 31st. It's going to be available on all platforms. 4-track EP, written, recorded, and produced by Sundream, distributed by Orolithic Collective.
Thank you.
So closing out, one thing you just mentioned is you're going to be moving out of your current living situation, and it's going to be getting rid of a recording area for you for the most part. But I am curious, like, do you have any plans to release any singles or like release anything like after Destinal Qyourm, or what's your next plans for Sundream?
Next plans for Sundream, I was watching the context for this answer. I was watching an interview with is it Lauryn Hill? Her album name is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And she was in the interview, she was talking about how like the label is asking, when's the next album? You got to do it in this time. And she was basically like, no, what I need to do is live life, because that's it took me living my life for like 10 years or whatever to get that album out, to make it. Yeah. I can't just go in the studio and make good songs. And so I do feel like at a certain point where I've played all the guitar chords that I know. I've fleshed out most of the ideas that I have in my catalog. And so what's next for me is sort of hinted at in the third song, but it's mostly, it's going to be like a revival in a new style.
I think you are, because they don't know yet. You'll know when you listen to track 3 on the EP. Dude, I think you are destined to make that type of sound.
I'm very primed for it. I'm like, it's
that is right up your fucking groove, dude.
And so that is sort of going to be happening. I've got to learn a lot and play a lot and experience way more that has happened in my life in order to make something meaningful with that, rather than just like shit something out. So I don't want to continue making these sort of voice memo albums, but inevitably something will come out.
For sure.
But I also don't want to tie myself down to what the next record will look or sound like. I just think I need to live life more. I need to live a different kind of life.
I agree with that. And, not even necessarily like with having it to be a record. I know you've mentioned before that you don't really like the idea of singles are meant to be singles for a record, but we've also talked in private of like wanting to make a song together, like collabs like that.
Totally.
So to the fans at home, don't worry, Sundream is not dead, but Sundream is evolving. And
if anything,
needs to live life.
If anything, I have a new recording equipment. I've been toying with the idea of like recording a best of Sundream, where it's like I re-record
like all
my
remaster
favorite,
almost.
Yeah, basically, and just sort of do like a Taylor's version of my stuff. So that's an idea that I'm most likely going to do with a more like cohesive album, as well as like, I don't imagine that I'm gonna go like I'm going to leave my albums behind. I think I want to do better about like marketing myself and having more like I'm such a huge fan of the physicality of this. This is one of my favorite records of mine, and so like I would love to distribute like a small batch of these records or of this upcoming record on a CD or something. Yeah, more like, physicality.
Are we gonna get like any sort of merch or physical listening for Destinal Qyourm?
I think that's up to Orlithic Collective, to be honest. But I
We'll have to talk
I would
with the
like
manager.
that. I really would like that. And like, you know, I love the size of vinyl records, but maybe they're just a touch inaccessible for me. Where CDs, I can just pop one in the car and like always listen to it. Like I like a CD collection more than I like a vinyl collection at this moment.
A lot of people are collecting CDs.
CDs are coming back, and I think they're cool. They're in that perfect space between DVD and VHS, where like VHS is strong and sturdy, it'll just get worse, but still play. Where DVD, once you get a scratch, it's fucked.
Right.
So like CDs are pretty cool, and they're pretty durable, but like vinyl, you have to be in a specific spot and be listening to it like almost
That's true.
intentionally.
Yeah, it's not as portable for sure.
It's not as portable, and I won't get into it, but
Yeah, cool. Well, then TBD on any physical items. But there's high potential. There'll definitely be some CDs. There may be a very limited run of vinyls. So stay tuned for that.
I mean, the one thing I will say, and we can cut this if we need. Bandcamp Friday is on December 3rd.
Okay.
So that'd be a great time to release something.
Let's do it. Yeah. December 3rd, we'll have some physical media coming out for Destinal Qyourm, which is coming out October 31st. Go stream it. Available on all platforms. 4 tracks. I think that's all I got for you, man. Do you got anything closing out you want to say to people?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to visualize what that would look like, but consider this like an open casting call for like a live Sundream band. I would like to play with somebody, whether that's on Mohawk or in somebody's house. I would love to play with somebody.
Fuck yeah. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you're in ATX, hit us up. We can get you playing with the legend himself, Sundream. That's going to be all for this episode of Inside the Mind. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Favorite it, send it to your grandmother, send it to your father. Everyone you send it to will get a guaranteed good luck karma point attributed to them. You can stack those up, cash it in for something soon. Don't forget to gamble. Don't forget scare money, make money. Have a good day, everybody, and happy Halloween.